So this is the review of the pattern practice, playing out and pressing, and then attack to defend as well. For this, I'll be using the Gibbs model of reflection. So starting off with description, what happened during the session. So the session itself went okay. It was just off the back of playing one of the other teams, one of the other university teams, and we lost that game 1-0, and that was kind of the first 11-a-side experience we'd had. So we went into this session where I kind of looked to build the sort of basic shapes of the team and the patterns that we'd be looking for when we go into our next game, which was just after that. So yeah, the session itself was good. It built up, started off building up from the back four, and then added in other players, and then added in the attacking players as well. Whilst that was happening on the side, my assistant coaches were also having a chat with the players, getting their feedback as well from the session. So feelings, what were my feelings and what was I thinking? So during the session, I do think it went quite well. I think the first half went better than the second half in terms of success. Whether that be maybe I rushed it a little bit in the second half of the session because I was quite short on time, but feelings for that, yeah, it was a good session, and I managed to get the patterns out, and I think the players understood that as well, and they were obviously fully on board with that. Evaluation of the session, so what was good and bad about the experience. I think the good thing, like I said, was the first half of the session where we were practicing playing out from the back and then pressing from the front for the attacking team. I think the tempo was a lot higher in that session, or the first half of the session compared to the second half. So I guess the bad thing for that would be maintaining the tempo, so we didn't manage to really maintain it, and maybe that was something on my behalf, maybe not encouraging them enough. So what else can you make of the situation? So in the analysis, so like I said, it was quite similar thing for this. What can I make of it in terms of how the session went? I think obviously with the success of the first half, the second half obviously needed a lot more improvement. So I think trying to match the tempo of the first half compared to the second half would be the main bit of analysis there. What else could I have done? This is the conclusion section. So I think maybe instead of taking a session on my own and leaving my assistant coaches for the players on the side, I would next time look to get them involved as well, whether that be just in a motivational role or whether they would be playing or feeding the ball in, just to maintain that tempo and keep that tempo up, because in the second half of the session I did have to join in kind of to kick-start that. So then final point is the action plan, and if it rose again, what would I do? So like I said previously, if I was to do that session again and that were to happen, I think I would obviously get one of my assistant coaches. I'm lucky enough to have two, so I'd get one of them to kind of join in, maybe feed the balls in and set that high tempo, especially in the second half of the session. And obviously with them knowing the practice as well, because we would have sat down before, they would be fully on board with it and they would have an extensive knowledge of it.